It starts today. Time to Crush 2018, Season 2, Episode number 4. Today's episode is brought to you by Target. Expect more and pay less. Happy New Year, everybody. All right, so starting this week, Target is offering great deals on apparel, home goods, and a whole lot more. So I wanted to tell you that this week's savings are the following. If you want to feel exhilarated in 2018, we'll start with Target because you'll get 20% off all the exhilaration apparel. All this week, running until January 13th. And if you're looking for that glow up in 2018, Target is giving all of its shoppers a $5 gift card when you purchase $15 or more of skincare products. Again, you have it until January the 13th. And for all you online shoppers like moi, who just can't stand going in the stores, get 30% off rugs and window treatments. However, this is only available January 12th and 13th only. So that's this Friday and Saturday. And lastly, for those of you looking to get your yin and yang on, or just being a little more balanced in 2018, I know I am, Target is giving 20% off all its Gayam yoga. I'm feeling that. All right, so take advantage of these sales. If you don't know where to look, so this is what you want to do. You want to head over to keepit100girl.com. You're going to look for episode number 4 to get the Target shopping link. Or you could just look in iTunes. You could look in iHeart, whatever your platform you're listening from. Just look at the show notes and just link to Target from there.
Girl, I want to see you go crazy.
So welcome to the Keep It 100 Girl podcast.
Nina is the host of the Keep It 100 Girl show. Keep It 100 means keeping the conversation real and true with no filters. She wants to be that positive influence in your life. Nina helps people who want to learn how to do it with confidence. Her episodes are directed to the uninformed girl and guy.
I'm your host, Nina Babel, and I am coming to you live and direct in 2018 from Washington, D.C. If you're listening for the first time and you're a newbie listener in my house, know this. Keep It 100 means Nina keeps the conversation real and true. I mean, I'm talking no filters, no sugarcoating. This is straight talk with no chaser. I talk to you on this podcast like I talk to my own friends, whether they're my girlfriends or my guy friends. I'm that go-to TMI girlfriend who is going to keep it real with you every friggin' time. Don't feel weirded out either, because you know what? I'm just warning you now. Sometimes you're going to feel embarrassed and exposed at times, but that's what a true friend does. So are you ready to keep it 100? Ready, steady, go. Are you ready to keep it 100?
Ready to keep it 100, girl.
Oh, Nina, I keep it 100, baby.
Yes, I'm ready to keep it 100.
I'm ready to keep it 100, girl.
You know I'm going to keep it 100.
Girl, I want to see you go crazy.
All right, peeps, I gave you a week plus to recover, reset, reflect, rest up, the whole 9. And finally, rewire your brain after reliving, I'm going to call it the Hall of Shame for 2018, right? The shame of what you didn't accomplish, what you failed to do, what you procrastinated, all those F words. Now that I think about it, you think you knew shit about shit, right? You came out blazing. What is it? Like everybody was that unicorn last year, but you didn't. You know, maybe you're disappointed. But this year is a year to be open to something you're not. And we're going to leave all that F baggage behind. We're going to start over, start fresh, and move forward. And this is how we're going to do it. We're not going to put off your purpose for another day. Truth doesn't show up until we tell it. And Nina tells it in a keep it 100 kind of way. So before I talk about relationships and situationships or just life, we have to get our mind right first in 2018. And I'm going to start that with this episode. And this week's episodes, I'm going to focus on outing the old, right? Whether It's lists, men, women, food, health, and we're going to end with the new of no more resolutions, and we're going to reflect and release and renew. In fact, as you notice, those are all my R words. It's about just starting, right? No excuses. We're starting slow. We're pacing each other. We start by ourselves. We're not going to wait for Joe. We're not going to wait for Sue. We're not going to wait for girlfriend to join you. You're going to start without the trainer, right? You're going to head to the gym and do your thing.
Wanna see you move, girl, let's go crazy.
Right? Maybe you don't have the money for the trainer. So just start. You're going to call that real estate agent to inquire because you want to buy that house. We're going to focus on creating a life that feels good on the inside, because what feels good on the inside radiates on the outside. Because, in this world, this social media world especially, we're focused on what looks good on the outside. And honestly, what's on the inside is just not all right. Right? And we lose sight of that. So enjoy your journey and don't place a label on it.
It's doable, and you can definitely make it happen. But it's something you work at until it becomes habit.
Mm-hmm. I went to a vision boarding hangout, and even though we were stating the obvious, we did it in an inspirational way. So I thought I would share with you some of the conversation that came out of that vision boarding session. And even though we have 355 days and counting to get it right, not literally get it right, but I think this will help you achieve your happy place too. Oh, by the way, you're going to hear kind of paper, scissors, tape and cutting in the background. So apologies for that, but that just lends to the ambient noise around the vision boarding hangout. So don't let the headspace get in the way. Right? We are our worst enemies at times. So with that, I wanted to start with motivation. And it's a learning thing. And every day you just got to reinforce, even, when you don't feel like it. You got to do it. So I'm going to give you many lessons to learn from and adopt as yours as they make sense with whatever's going on with your life. But these stories are being told from a perspective of someone who knows that feeling, right? And I am positive you're definitely one of them. Let's talk about setting expectations. Like I mentioned earlier, they are a setup, and they also differ from a vision.
What's one thing you think you can do to let go?
Maybe stop having so much expectations, especially on myself, of just how I want things to look and how I want things to go.
Is it a thing of the expectation of the accomplishment or the thing, or is it the expectation of how the thing looks or how it feels?
More like how it looks, because the last 2 years have been kind of difficult because it's like I wanted my life to go in a certain way, and the last 2 years everything just kind of fell apart. So I'm learning that I really need to stop thinking about how it's going to look and just kind of let it go.
Next, don't focus on time. That could be your biggest win at times, but then your biggest loss. I say and live by, the universe controls time, not you.
So not let go of the goals, let go of the focus on how it looks, how it feels, how it's presented.
And also a specific timeline.
Oh yeah, that's definitely hard for me. And with my life coach, that's one thing. She's like, because you're so logical, and because my background in engineering, everything is very tangible, and expecting it to be a certain way. And that, when I first started working with her, was a thing of like, well, how long is this going to take?
Yeah, exactly.
That's what you asked her first. How long are you going to fix me?
I mean, well, it'll be like work on this, because a lot of stuff was about, and I'm able to kind of see that and feel that now it's on, like your feeling of something, and also time. Like we've had just discussions about time and, the universe and energy and all that, but time being relative, of not focusing on the time and just focus on what it is that you're trying to work on.
3, you're going to find your intent and what it is. There's no more sitting and thinking here. Many of you out there want to change jobs. Maybe you want to get out of a relationship, buy a house, by a certain time. Come to learn, time has passed you by. And this is a clear example of what her story is when it comes to that scenario.
And that's a real challenging one, because I mentioned a little bit, I was trying to transition and change jobs. I've been with the same agency for many, many years, but I work pretty far from home. And in the past, you can kind of move in like 6 months. You can kind of pretty much guarantee you can find a new assignment. But this time around, it's taken like 2 years. And I'm like, people have moved, people have left, and it's like, why am I still sitting here?
Right.
And so, you've revamped the resume, you've gone and talked to your mentors and all that good stuff. And I just finally had to say, you know what? There's unfinished business here, and I'm going to have to find my contentment where I am and not fight against it so much. And so for me, it's learning to just like you say, enjoy the journey and not place that label on it.
Yeah.
And it's like not coming to work frustrated all the time because you're not getting X or Y or Z interview. And that when it happens, it's going to manifest the way it's supposed to. And I can't force it.
Exactly.
And it's a learning thing. It's like every day you have to kind of reinforce that.
Next, you can do nothing. And that is kind of the best medicine. Like I said before, let the universe handle it.
That at times you don't have to do anything. Like you just do nothing. And that is like what you're supposed to do is nothing. To allow the universe to do what it's supposed to do. And sometimes when you start doing stuff, you start kind of messing it up.
And that let go, which you talked about before, that letting go is the biggest part when you can kind of get to that point that it's not the central focus. It makes a difference. I mean, I'm still applying, but it's like I don't get as antsy about if it doesn't happen or you get a Dear John. It's like, okay, next.
Right.
Keep it going. I'm still, working and able to earn a living, so just keep it moving. But no, that's a good point.
There are a lot of people who wish they had a job to begin with.
I know, that's
and a government job.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That's why I have to keep it about the basics. That's very, very true.
His inspiration. He tells you what works for him, and maybe it's something that can work for you as well.
I would say indirect inspiration or motivation to go do something differently. So the fact that you don't have a direction to go in helps you to be frustrated. Does that make sense? So if there's something that you're interested in and you think you want to do, that might be a good time to explore that, and it might alleviate that, take your attention away from what is going on.
Something you were focused on
and
before.
Focus on something for yourself in the direction that you want to go.
Going home for the holidays was great and all, but hear what? Except for the part where your parents' cat thinks your suitcase is a litter box, or you wake up and you see your brother, your sister's weird little dog staring you straight in the eyes when you wake up. And not only that, they're just drooling. Drip, drip. So this year, maybe you want to conquer that fear, right? The fear of traveling for the first time. Maybe it's the fear of flying or taking that first international trip. Do you need to get your own hotel room? I have friends with benefits, and it's not what you're thinking. It's an offer with Hotel Tonight, where if you sign up and get the app, you get $25 off your first booking using my promo code NIBABLE, right? That's the babe with an L, you guys forget. So it's NIB as in boy, A as in apple, B as in boy, E and then L as in love. NIBABLE is the promo code. And I use this app all the time, and I'll tell you why. Sometimes I'm not a super duper good planner, and this app allows me to get any last minute accommodations, and I'm talking 4 5-star accommodations for half price or less. So I live and swear by Hotel Tonight. All right, no more sitting and thinking, right? Procrastination and fear, they go hand in hand. And more importantly, it prevents us from exercising our natural born God-given talents that we never ever use, right? They surface when we're kids, we stifle them, we forget about them, or figure out, you know what, we don't take it seriously or turn it into a passion. And sometimes it's that little voice that interrupts those thoughts or just stifles those thoughts. And it's just left up there in our heads, stuck in our brain forever. So I'm hoping this episode will further you on your path of self-discovery to define what are those passions, those successes that you wish, and how does that translate to happiness, your happiness? Because there's only one of you. Some of us don't know or realize what our natural born skills and talents are, right? Truthfully, I get grown ass friends and adults that I come across, that say, oh, you work for yourself. And, it's always this ooh, ah moment. And I'm grateful for it. Yes, it takes a certain personality because it takes a lot of risk. But when I ask in return what their passion is, because they're unhappy for one reason or another, they say, I want to do X, but it's just too much work. And so when I ask them what their passion is, they can't answer. And I really think it's fear crippling them. Fear has them comfortable, right? They're comfortable with the 9 to 5, with the regimen, with the no change, the same thing over and over again. And truthfully, once you get in your 30s and 40s, that gets kind of old. And it leaves you wanting no ambition, or you just sit in this uncomfortable state, just kind of rotting your life away. We have to do the work. And you know what? You can't blame anyone. You really can't. Which leads me to fear setting. I learned of fear setting last year watching Tim Ferriss's TED Talk. It was really, really good. It's a 30-minute timeout. So, everybody has 13 minutes while they're sipping their coffee or tea or juice or smoothie. This one spoke to my heart, people. I mean, his point was dead on with forgetting goals. It gets tired. Everybody gets tired of setting goals because you know what? You're setting the same goals like you had last year because they were on autopilot for whatever reason. Goal setting is a surefire way to set up yourself for disappointment or excuses. Fear setting is more meaningful and drives a deeper feeling of accomplishment, in my opinion. With fear setting, you may not like the consequences, right? Because it's a fear. But like anything else, you could survive it. There's always the awareness that you're going to figure it out. It might not be easy. It's going to be hard. You're going to struggle. But it will be that way until it becomes second nature. And it will send you down a path that's much more exciting than the one you're on. Come on, people. A good, relatable example, not only for me, but for many of you out there, think of financial or job-related fears you've had or that have crippled you most of your life. I know there's someone out there who's worked jobs you hated to the point where you just, I'm not going to say literally wanted to kill yourself, but you just rather stayed in bed or not go in at all for another day. And then there's other scenarios. I was certainly laid off. I'm not going to lie. I've been fired from my part-time college jobs, position eliminated, my organization reorged, or I just didn't get that proper bonus after putting in like umpteen hours at my job, which led me to just hang it up and decide to work for myself. I'm telling you, no experience, no background, totally green. And look, 8 years later, I'm still standing. So in this story, she went for a job outside of the box, right? She still stayed in her engineering swim lane, but she knew she wasn't 100% qualified for it.
The hardest decisions being something easy. The one time that I actually had to consciously make a decision about a job, like actually apply for this job and step out totally of what it was that I was doing. And when I got it, I remember telling my friend Al, I was like, dude, like I'm scared to death of doing this because it's something totally not what I do, but it was the best decision. best decision that I made. It totally changed everything in my life. But had I been afraid to do it because it was outside of the realm of what, kind of I was used to with my job experience, I would still be there and be miserable and be depressed and unhappy.
So your takeaway is to list your fears. Start small, right? We just want to start slow, and then you can build on it. But I want these fears to be ones that scare you into failure, or maybe you think you're going to make a fool out of yourself. And what are the results you're avoiding? And what are the impacts of the fear? Like, is it going to make you want to create a business? Maybe put you in front of an influencer, a celebrity that you've never had access to before? Oddly enough, for me, it's the fear of success that holds me back. And I don't know, I've been struggling with that for a while, but I'm getting there. Think of things that you're scared of, but have nothing to lose and everything to gain. And I would say 6 months is the best marker right now. So this is what you can do. You can check out this site. It's called futureme.org, right? And you can either mail your fears to yourself. You can email it to a friend with instructions. And what it is, it's a letter to your future. And a good example is I read a list of accomplishments that I wanted to set out 2 years ago. In fact, it was August 2016 that I just read 2 weeks ago. And it really reminded me of the place that I was in then mentally and where I am now. And where I was then wasn't a good place. I was kind of grateful to kind of be reminded of that. But to keep you accountable of your fears, you write a letter to the future, right? You set fears for yourself, you make a prediction, you envision the future, and that will help you make it happen. Then you'll see how amazing that you've evolved, how you're facing your own destiny, how your life turns in unknown ways. Plus, it's just proof that you can control your life. You are in control. What did I tell you earlier? You have to do the work. You can't blame anybody. But why wait for it to happen? Just go for it. This gives you permission to go for it. All right, lastly, we're going to talk about focusing. Focus. It's going to be a depth here, right? We're going deeper. We're not going wider. We're not going to expand on things we haven't finished. Stuff we started in 2017 but didn't finish. We're going to focus on our swim lanes, what we have, right? What we've started, and we're going to continue and we're going to go deeper. I think oftentimes we become flippant with our goals. We get consumed with picking up and expanding on new things when we haven't really finished or mastered the first one. Our attention spans are really short these days. And, when things don't go viral, what I hear a lot in my photography side business is, and I don't do weddings. Let's be clear. At least I'm saying that now. But as Oprah says, you have the permission to change your mind. But brides want to go viral. That is a requirement of theirs. They want their wedding videos to go viral. I mean, what happened to just getting married, right? But the point is this. We always want to move on to what we think is bigger and better, or what will make us bigger and better. So find the value in what you already own, what you've started, and improve those skills. Become that expert rather than learning new ones. And with focus comes energy, and good energy leads to focus. Really never took this whole new moon meaning to your life seriously. Honestly, the only new moon association I ever made is, I always looked up at the sky when I felt I had uber energy. And when I looked up and I saw a full moon, I was like, yeah, no wonder. But not realizing that's my peak time. That is my peak period to take advantage of not only my energy level, but my focus.
The moon has different cycles. The new moon, the full moon. And the new moon is basically when
like a $500
the
bill,
moon.
so we can't do that because my house is all electric.
It's the beginning of the cycle of the moon again when it's actually between It's
during polar vortex,
between.
they'll be like $800.
Is it between the Earth? Basically, we're seeing the dark side of the moon when it's on the new moon, so you can't see it from here because the sun isn't like shining on it for us to be able to see it at all. So that's the beginning of the new moon cycle.
And Nina is the host of the Keep It 100 Girl show. Keep It 100 means keeping the conversation real and true with no filters. She wants to be that positive influence in your life. Nina helps people who want to learn how to do it with confidence. Her episodes are directed to the uninformed girl and guy.
And lastly, I'll say this. Getting your personal house in order is essential when it comes to eating and health. In the vision boarding sesh we had, we talked about that all too familiar slippery slope and avoiding it. And what that means, you got to get intentional for the right reasons. You want to always be adding value to your lifestyle, to your relationships, by practicing what you preach with a super duper disciplined approach. And essentially, this is called your second brain. Your second brain is your stomach.
Your intestinal area is considered your second brain because it has almost as many nerves endings as your actual brain.
When I actually went to do colon hydrotherapy, as the lady said, death begins in the colon because of all the nerve endings. Like basically everything in there goes to every other part of your body.
Yeah.
And that's why that's why when you change stuff that you eat, like it affects your skin. It affects everything in your body because of whatever's happening in your intestines.
So everything about 2018, especially in January, is about eating cleaner and not sabotaging yourself with diet.
If you just say, all right, let me just start eating healthier, for some people that's hard to do because you start to lose track in terms of like what the specific meals or the plans mean if you're just going to be healthier.
Yeah, healthier is relative. Like, let me eat 2 pieces of chocolate instead of 10.
I know.
Yeah,
you know, it's healthier. Or people end up eating a lot of processed food. So, like, that was something very intentional this time around, was to eat cleaner. So, not so much focus on, like, I mean, I did cut carbs, but not be so focused on cutting carbs. But my carbs were whole foods, so like quinoa or sweet potatoes or squash or something like that that's coming from this right here, as opposed to this processed thing that someone put together, flash froze, and put it in the microwave. So when I focused on eating clean, I noticed a difference, and it was, I think, easier to stick with it.
This would be hard for sure, but if you literally do not eat out for a year, that will change a lot.
Yeah.
If you say I have to cook, like when I did raw, there was no way I could eat out unless it was like, you know, a piece of fruit or something. But other than that, you know, I will hang out with friends at restaurants, but I will drink water.
And that was
go
me
home
too.
and
eat whatever. I'd be hood. I'd take my food with me sometimes.
At the restaurant.
That's not.
I did that.
So I did something like that because I had to do. That was in a mess. But what I did was, I recognized that I couldn't stick to a diet, whatever somebody had set up. So all I did was figure out what I wanted to eat that was healthy and that was in some of those diets. That was productive. And I just figured out a lot of them and figured out combinations. And it didn't matter what it was, I just got all of them. And then it was never boring, so I would just pick up one thing and eat it with something else, and kept doing that. But it didn't matter what I eat, it was all constructive, and it helped. It helped me to lose weight. I didn't exercise because I couldn't exercise, and I lost weight.
Yeah.
It worked. It worked very, very well, and I was never hungry. And what I ended up doing was making little baggies and making little meals. So I would plan what I'm going to eat with whatever I have. And I did exactly what he said. If you don't have it around, you can't eat it.
Then we have the slippery slope when it comes to gaining weight over the holiday season. And we turn around in January and we just feel guilty. And everybody's in the gym.
You gotta take it all out the house. Every single thing.
Yeah. And after a while, you get used to it. And I didn't miss it, but I've noticed for me, once I start back on that slope, it's slippery. It's slippery. It's like a cliff, straight up. It's not like a little valley. You know, the little hill. Oh, okay, no problem. No, that thing is a straight up drop. It's a drop off the cliff.
So it's refreshing to hear people admitting to their weaknesses, right? We understand what our downfalls are. And you know what? We start fresh in January 2018. Whether you're looking for the glow up,
you set a goal and you put that goal away, and then you do whatever everybody else is doing, and don't give yourself a break till you get to that goal.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Or you know what happens?
Yeah.
People will say, they'll look at you and they'll be like, something looks different. And then you're just doing things like business as usual. And then when people start telling you, yeah, you look different or you lost weight, then you're like, oh, like it's working or whatever.
Because I even had people be like, you have this like glow. Like something's going on there. Don't know what it is.
Because you're so into like just that you're on your path.
And you're focused, like 100% focused.
You're holding yourself accountable by getting out of that misery phase of the holiday season or just 2017.
And that's what it did, because I was doing vegan. And it was like my birthday is coming up, and my birthday is the same week as Thanksgiving. So I was like, okay, I'm going to treat myself. You know, I've been doing good for the last 3 months. I'm going to treat myself to a lamb burger. Man.
What, the Wegmans lamb burger?
Yes. That week.
They have a lamb burger?
I didn't know. It's good. I had one today.
Lamb burgers are
I had one today. But I gained 8 pounds in that 1 week.
What? Oh my god.
Slippery slope.
I'm telling you, that's
Slippery slope. Seriously.
I'll help you, man. If you want me, I will. You know me. I will come to your house and throw away everything. Because I've already done it once before, and I won't feel bad about it. In fact, we'll donate those food to the homeless pantry that we want to do in a few months, and then that'll be the start. True. And I will buy all your fresh green food and all your fresh, fruits and vegetables. And you're gonna be miserable for maybe 3 weeks. But then after that, you get used to it, and then you're just good.
But I honestly don't think you'll be miserable. Like, and that's why I say it's mental. But that's why I say it's mental, because like when I started doing it, I wasn't miserable. Whereas other times but every time that I had done it before, I was miserable. It was like
you go through 1 or 2 weeks of being miserable, then you kind of level off.
Yeah, this time I actually didn't go through the misery phase where every time before I did and was like, I can't wait till this is done so I can eat this. I can't wait till it's done so I can have that. Whereas this time it was just focusing on being healthy.
You had a goal.
Yeah, exactly. And it was just focused on being healthy, and it just kind of kept going. And stuff that I didn't even like, Popeyes, I don't even like the smell of it.
Right.
I can't tolerate it anymore.
Right. Or you smell grease. You just smell things
makes
that you just doesn't turn you on anymore.
At all.
Admit your weaknesses with the fear factor.
Unintentionally, I was vegetarian for 6 months, and I felt good. And it was, I was in like the best shape as far as like
so I have to find that, just like you said, the combination of healthy.
And I got back into meat, and all of a sudden, the pound just came on.
Yeah.
What I do now, and
For me, it's sugar. I just realized like I'm like really just addicted to sugar.
Yeah, that'll do it too.
Trying to cut down now. I don't really eat a lot of processed foods. I eat mostly home cooked foods, but I just
the sugar.
It's just the sugar.
Very, very little.
Yeah, it's that one can be rough.
Garlic powder.
That one can be rough. I know me, like my face breaks out and stuff like that when I know I had too much sugar. The sugar makes me sick, like too much.
You need to have your apple cider vinegar.
I know. So I'm actually trying it with the apple cider vinegar to
Kill the sugar or the skim break?
Sugar. Oh, even a lot of greens. If you eat a lot of like green veggies, it will kill that.
Because I will say, when I did vegan, I didn't even have and that was something I noticed when I cut carbs. I used to have this craving for sugar after I had a meal. Like, I want something sweet. When I cut out carbs, and especially when I was doing the vegan, it never happened. Like, it never happened.
I think it's something to do with like your blood sugar spikes or whatever, right?
Yeah, probably that too.
Balsamic vinegar helps regulate your blood sugar. So if you're eating a pasta or something starchy, if you can have balsamic vinegar with it, especially with salad dressing, yeah, it regulates the release of the glucose so that you don't get those spikes. So it's good to put, like, especially if you're eating pasta, put some balsamic vinegar in it.
I don't mean to call nobody out.
So attached to this episode is the fear factor. And this is where you're going to list 3 fears. And in fact, you're going to send it to yourself. You're going to use that futureme.org. That is your call to action. And in 6 months, we are going to revisit. Yes, you heard right, because I am part of that. I'm going to revisit what my fears are in June. and I'm going to have a follow-up episode.
Girl, I wanna see you go crazy.
Somebody is waiting for your yes. So it's your job to tap into your strengths, right? We're going to prepare to make something happen in June. No pressure, but we can't just sit and think anymore.
Wanna see you move, girl, let's go crazy.
We need to have like a plan for our future. You know, I see so many people think they got blindsided, right? Especially, let's say, if they got laid off. Oh, I didn't see it happening. Yes, you did. There were signs. You just chose to coast.
See you move, girl, let's go crazy.
And didn't make any adjustments along the way, right? That's so easy. I think some of the whole point around receiving emails periodically along the way, inquiring about how you're doing on some of these fears, puts you in self-check mode, right? Keeps you accountable. It makes you reflect on this time and question why you felt a certain way and how you have matured or grown from the experience. So tune in later this week because I have some vision boarding with respect to relationships. So if you're single, you're going to learn how to vision board a realistic relationship plan, right? We're going to list the baggage, what has to go first. We're going to focus on helping everyone answer that, who am I? Or who am I AF? And take time for some self-love too. The goal is for everyone to develop a positive relationship, not only with themselves, but define what happiness means to you and how you're going to bring it to other people and attract that same energy with a like-minded mate. Thanks for tuning in to the Keep It 100 Girls Show. If you have the feels to keep it 100 in your life, tune in each week for real talk on relationships, love, sex, dating, women's health, and you know what? I do have a lot of men's topics as well. Review this show on iTunes, and even better, don't forget to subscribe so you never, ever, ever miss one of my Keep It 100 Girl episodes. Help me spread the word. I'm on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, iTunes, TuneIn, Google Play Music, and SoundCloud. So later's going to be greater. Don't forget to keep it 100 this week. Smooches.
Don't play with it. Crazy.